welcome everybody to our very first episode of The Art of Talking. My name is Joshua Colan. I'm a VISTA senior, and I'm here with
Brandon Hernandez. I'm also a VISTA senior.
Oh, and I'm also part of this. My name is John Hernandez, and I'm also a VISTA senior. And our first guest on this episode is
Mr. Sepulveda, Director of Student Affairs, formerly English teacher.
Hello, Mr. Sepulveda.
Oh, hello, yeah. Thank you for coming on to this,
It's an honor. Yeah. It's an honor to be here. I feel privileged to serve as a guest on your show.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Definitely. I've been here at Mountain View High School a long time now. I began as a substitute teacher, and my first coaching duties was serving as a freshman head football coach, and that was quite an experience that led into a whole lot of other experiences. I've also served as the varsity head baseball coach. I've also served as varsity head football coach, class of 2018 advisor, part of the ASB staff, and I've served as a ASB leadership teacher. So I've done quite a bit here at the school, and I believe since 2008, that's when I began my campaign as a Mountain View Viking.
Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah, that is a pretty long time.
So you talked a little bit about ASB. How does it feel to see students come and go? Let's say they join freshman year, and you see them progress from freshman to senior, and then seeing them leave onto other things in life. How does that feel?
Well, that's definitely a mix of emotions there, because one of the most rewarding experiences as a teacher, as a professional educator, is to witness the growth that is demonstrated by my students, and seeing them begin as freshmen and matriculate all the way up to their senior year, graduation. And it's always a kind of bittersweet feeling to see them graduate, because obviously we can't keep them here forever. There's a lot of personalities that teachers are establish an affinity for our students, but it's even more rewarding to see them achieve success out there in the real world, because as they're undergoing their daily education, we remind them that everything they learn is with the intent of applying what they've learned in the real world, in a very competitive, evolving world for that matter. So seeing them achieve success beyond the boundaries of Mountain View High School is truly an extreme amount of rewarding feelings.
Wow.
Going back to how you said you were a coach for football, I was wondering if you can tell us how that felt, being coach of varsity and freshman football. Just freshman football.
Well, that's an interesting question, because one of the fondest memories I have is my first year serving as freshman football coach. So before I served as freshman football coach, I had stepped out of education, stepped out of teaching for about 2.5 years to grow a business. And when that business was shut down, when we went out of business, I returned to education, and it was almost a blessing in disguise, in that when I returned, I didn't realize how much I missed the energy of students, how much I missed being in education. It's almost as if, the old cliche of taking things for granted. It truly validated that I was truly serving my life's calling, and that is education. So when I first started, that was the 2009 season for freshman football, and I had an a great rapport with those kids. To this day, we still keep in touch with some of those kids. As a matter of fact, Hugo Gonzalez was introduced this morning. He was recently hired, just I think last Friday or this morning, as a paraeducator. He's a couple units away from his bachelor's degree. And that's just one of many examples of how proud I am of former student athletes that we've dealt with. But truth be told, I actually started coaching freshman football because I wanted to see if I could make a difference with, helping them compete against the local rivals. And it was a very serious business for me when I started coaching. It was not just something I was doing for fun. I truly wanted to lead them towards the process that it took to compete. And that's not only the physical preparations, but the adopting or establishing the right mindset. And I was pretty intense back then, even though it was only freshman football. And I think they appreciated it over the years. I know one of the major goals I had as a freshman coach was to defeat South El Monte. A previous year, I saw our freshman team get beaten up pretty badly, and that one struck to my core. It was like a punch in the gut to me, and I felt like I couldn't do anything about it if I was on the in the stands as a spectator. So that was a major goal, and although we didn't accomplish it on the first try, the second year, not only were we able to defeat South El Monte, the freshman team, but we defeated them for the first time in school history on the varsity level. And I believe that year all three levels beat South El Monte. And at that point, it had been very rare to do so. But one of my greatest memories that year was also defeating Arroyo at the freshman level. So a lot of memories are definitely being manifested or circulating through my brain at this moment.
You want to go ahead or?
All right. So, in your personal opinion, who do you believe was the most toughest team to go against for football varsity?
Well, that's an interesting question there. Obviously, we got to give a lot of respect to Arroyo High School for their sustained excellence. They didn't just come to the scene on 1 or 2 years. They've been real solid for many decades now. So right off the top of my head, I'd have to give a credit to Arroyo for being tough, but in reality, obviously El Monte's recent success, having won the CIF and the state championship, it'd be hard to find a tougher opponent than the 2019 El Monte Lions state championship team. And also I've seen some very stout South El Monte teams over the years. I believe they made 2 semifinal appearances, if I recall correctly, and those were tough opponents as well. So over the years, actually, I got to give a shout out to the 2008 Rosemead Panthers as well. They were in the CIF final against Paraclete, and Paraclete now is in a very high division. It's a private school, and Rosemead, I remember they had to travel to Lancaster in like 18-degree weather for that game. It was unfortunate that they couldn't host the game, but so I got to give a shout out to the Panthers, to the Eagles, to the Lions, to the Knights, all the way across the board. We've had definitely tough encounters. It'd be hard to say any one of those teams is more formidable than any other.
Being a football coach, did you ever receive negative comments? And if so, how did you take it?
Absolutely. You have to have very thick skin to be a head football coach. It's extremely tough. And you definitely hear negative comments repeatedly. I handle it well. I internalize it in that I understand they're spectators. And in being spectators, they're gonna voice their emotions, and everybody's an expert in the stands, right? And I understand that. That's why I never take it personally, because I would not have taken the job as head coach if I didn't understand that I was gonna be criticized in my methodologies or in my philosophies or in play calls or in playing time. The list goes on as far as what you can be attacked for, as far as your judgment. But truth be told, the love and the relationships you establish with your student athletes trumps all of that. So I'd like to say that I credit that to just being mentally tough. And I teach my students athletes that football is one of the best metaphors for life in general. So I like to demonstrate, to them, I tell them the importance of being mentally tough every day of your lives. When adversity strikes, that's how you're going to be judged, how you handle yourself in your worst moments. And I believe I've done so myself as a leader, as a head coach. I've definitely experienced heavy doses of adversity myself. And one of the things I'm proudest of is always showing up to work the next day. The sun comes up is what I tell my students the next day, and you got to show up when things are good, when things are bad. You just can't be, you can't allow the weather to determine whether you're, in a good mood or whether you're positive. You just always have to be positive. But as I said, I think that also comes with life experience, and it comes with maturity. I can't say that I've been as mentally tough or as understanding in the past as I am now. I think my mental toughness has grown, and but it's also a challenge, and I welcome that challenge. So it was nothing I shied away from. But without a doubt, this position, the head football coach position, or coach for any other sport for that matter, does come with that. So you just have to be prepared on handling it well and in a mature fashion.
Yeah, I believe being a football coach is pretty hard, because, as you said, everybody in the stands thinks they're the expert. And me being, part of one of those in the stands, I always hear like negative comments towards the coaches and the players.
Well, without a doubt. I hear it as well, especially now that I'm back up there in the stands. And so there's a lot of things spectators don't understand what's going on internally with a team. For example, there might be a situation where a coach benches their best players for disciplinary reasons, and then that coach is going to get criticized for losing the game, whereas you would have perhaps played your best players and not disciplined them, then you would have got criticized for playing them. So either way, you just have to honor your philosophy, and you have to have a backbone. You have to have a strong backbone as a head coach to just deal with that, because they also don't understand, for example, the current offense that we run is the same that has been run for almost a decade now. And the fans or spectators are not going to understand that there's a methodology to that offense, and they're going to just yell out and scream, hey, throw a pass, throw a screen pass, do this or that. They don't understand it's not that easy, and they don't understand that perhaps a coach or a team runs what they do because they don't have the skill set to run what they see on TV. So as I said, even the 2018-2019 El Monte Lion State Championship team ran the identical offense, and nobody criticizes that offense if the team is winning. So, but as I said, that's why they're spectators, and the way to do something about it is to get in there yourself and volunteer to coach and help out any way you can, or just be positive, because I have a tremendous respect. I would always tell my players, I respect every single one of them for simply going out for the sport, for taking on the challenge, the grind, the daily grind of the physical rigors of football, and the physical dangers and the risks, and the criticisms that you might receive from coaches and things like that. You really got to be built tough to play the sport of football.
Oh yeah. So since you're also head of ASB, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
sir.
coming with that, is there what would you say would be like the main responsibility of like let's say this is like kind of an analogy, but let's say you're the captain of like the ASB ship.
Yes.
What would like the captain order their crewmates to do?
Well, I think, believe it or not, the ASB class, the official ASB class is 0 period. It's called leadership. So I have a lot of confidence and faith. A lot of my ASBers, they're go-getters. They're proactive. They have intelligence and confidence and creativity. And my role, I believe, is to support them. And I understand that, as the captain of that ship, as you call it, my role is to make sure they have my support and they have the materials, they have the wherewithal, they have the support, anything they need to make sure the ship keeps moving in the right direction. So, anywhere from helping them expand their ideas to holding them accountable. A lot of times they'll throw out ideas out there and they want to get things done, but there's no follow through. My job is to make sure there is follow through, and also the list goes on, encouraging them, mentally inducing energy into the ASB and being what we say we believe in. So just modeling what we stand for as well. So if we're about school spirit, then I have to be about school spirit. If I want them to permeate positivity around campus, then it has to start with me as well. So as I said, my job is just to make sure that they're enthusiastic and they have everything they need to do their jobs.
This is also like a kind of a segue. What are going to be like the upcoming school events, activities? Is there any upcoming stuff?
Absolutely. We have what we believe is the biggest homecoming in the history of Mountain View High School. This year marks the 50th anniversary since the school's establishment, and we're going big. We're going big with reaching out to the alumni, and we're very proud of the progress that this school has made in the last 50 years, and with the evolution of the school and with the development of programs and facilities that we still have in the works. I know we're scheduled to get a new turf field and a new stadium coming up soon. But so on October 15th we have the homecoming game. Mm-hmm. So that's going to be huge, and that's where all the festivities begin for the 50th. I know before the game we have an alumni festivities, I believe in the quad or underneath the tent. There's a whole program for that, and afterwards we make our way over to the field, and ASB has a lot going on. At the halftime show, we have the crowning of the queen. We have the class, their skits, their dances that they'll be doing, and then it's followed up by the homecoming dance on October 16th between 7 and 11. We did receive word that guests are allowed, and I'm quite confident that the dance will go on, that it won't be disrupted or canceled. Of course, I'm going to still knock on wood, but I'm confident that it's going to go on, and I'm really looking forward to it. We were highly looking forward to the Aloha dance that was canceled recently. So I think we're going to be able to more than make up for it with this homecoming dance. So that's the biggest thing we have looking ahead.
Going back to big activities, I'm not sure where I seen it, but I heard there's going to be a big announcement this Wednesday.
Yeah. Can you give us a little bit of
sneak peek,
a little bit of information?
Absolutely. I'm going to be right there with you guys to find out what's going to happen. So I'm sure there's going to be something that's going to be revealed, and I can't wait to find out myself. So I think purposely, by design, that's something that's going to be disclosed whenever, and I think that's a marketing strategy that is very, very effective. So I'm curious, what did you guys hear this?
I think I seen it on somebody's story, I guess.
I think was it the ASB story? Instagram?
I think it was ASB. I'm not sure, but I've seen it somewhere, and it said like there's a Big announcement,
man.
on Wednesday.
Oh, I got to give a shout out to our publicity department in ASB because apparently their strategies are working. So, kudos to them for spreading the word.
I'm a bit excited myself. I wonder what it is.
Oh yeah. If for the our audience or people watching, if you also want to know like all these little things that are coming up, you should definitely follow the ASB account on Instagram. And they always post little teasers and stuff like that. That's what we know. Sometimes we get like information on their stories, on their posts. So you guys should definitely go check them out on Instagram. I forgot their at, but
yeah,
we'll probably plug in that
it was like
somewhere.
at ASB MVHS.
Yeah, I think that's
like
that. Go follow them.
Yeah, and with that being said, I highly recommend for everyone, all of you, everyone out there, get involved and participate in these events that take a lot of work to put together. There's only so many of them, so I know I went to most of my high school dances, and the memories are still very vivid. I cherish all of those memories, and it's all about making memories. So get out and let's party together. Let's have some fun. Let's be positive. Let's be safe, and let's make it happen.
Sorry.
No,
Talking about ASB, can anybody join, or do you need like experience?
Anybody could join, but there will be requirements like 2.5 grade point average, and so you are held to a higher standard. There's ASB students who do join and they fall short of those standards or expectations, and then they don't get they're not allowed re-entry the next year. But for the most part, yes, anyone could join. Anyone who is spirited, anyone who's academically minded as far as just serving a higher standard for themselves. But there is an application process for it, and there's also interviews that is conducted by the cabinet.
So that's good. Everything about ASB, it sounds really amazing. Like it sounds like you guys are really like well founded. Like you guys have the base, and there's more layers to that whole building. Let's say it's a building, okay? You have the base, the whole foundation, and then you have everyone who helps to build it up. So to wrap things up, is there anything else you would like to share that we didn't ask, or to get off your chest?
Well, definitely. I have to give a shout out and a lot of credit to Mr. Allende Palma Saracho. The foundation that you speak of for the ASB was built by, we call him Mr. PS, and it was one of the, I feel very fortunate to have inherited an ASB that is now deep with tradition, deep with practices that to this day have moved forward, have persisted, and that's one of the reasons I feel that I base my success off of the foundation that you speak of. So a lot of credit to those former ASBers. We call them ASB legends who laid that foundation so that the current ASB can move it forward.
Nice.
Well, I think that about wraps up this episode. Thank you everyone for watching. This was the first episode of The Art of Talking. Our first guest, as you know, Mr. Sepulveda.
Thank you, Mr. Sepulveda,
thank you so much
being here.
Thank you for having me, and I look forward to seeing your many more episodes and the prospective guests that you will have on this show. So I'm going to be definitely a subscriber or a viewer or a fan of your show. What'd you say? The Art of Talking?
Yeah, the Art of Talking.
All right, I like that.
I came up with it.
And shout out to the VISTA crew.
And a great shout out to
the VISTA
not
crew.
only the VISTA teacher, Mr. Mann, but also all the students that help record and edit and everything. Thank you so much. None of this could be possible without you guys. So thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Is that it?